Okay, in this method we're going to be talking about the box method to divide. So first off, just a little reminder of how to do long division. We have the x minus 2, I have my x cubed, my squared, my x, and my 8. So I have to get to my 5x cubed, so I need to multiply by 5x squared. Minus 10x squared, I flip, so I got negative 3x squared. I drop my next one. I need to multiply by a negative 3x to get negative 3x squared, and then I distribute to both of them. I flip, so I got 4x minus 8, so plus 4. That would get me a 4x minus 8. I flip, and get 0, so that would be my answer for this one. My next one here, I've got 2x minus 1. I go from my fourth. I miss my cube, so we're going to fill one in. I've got my squared, my x, and my number. So to get to 4x cubed, I need to multiply by 2x cubed. So that will get me my 4x to the fourth minus 2x cubed. I flip. So I've got my 2x cubed left minus 5x squared. So I need to multiply by 2x squared. Nope. And x squared, because I already got the 2. So I've got 2x cubed minus 2x squared. Flip. I drop my next one. So I need to multiply. Oops, this was supposed to just be a minus. So plus x squared. So it'll be a minus 4x squared. There we go. Plus 2x. So I need to multiply by a minus 2x to get negative 4x squared plus 2x. I flip. I get 0. So my remainder is going to be a 4 in this one. So that's my answer, plus 4. And then what I'm still trying to divide out of it, that 2x minus 1. So that's my long division route. We're going to be talking about box method. So first off with box method, we're just going to practice multiplying them. So remember, going into the boxes, we're going to multiply. So 3x times 2x cubed is going to be 6x to the fourth. I multiply down in. So my next one is going to be negative 4x cubed. I multiply down in. So negative 3x cubed. When I multiply this one down, I got 2x squared. I get 9x minus 3x. 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. Okay, so if we were multiplying these, I would get 6x to the fourth. And then we can also combine like terms straight off the bat. So if I added these, I get negative 7x cubed. That was supposed to be a squared. So plus 11x squared minus 9x. So I have a 6x to the fourth minus 7x cubed plus 11x squared minus 9x plus 2 would be what I would do if I multiplied it. And then we're going to be slowly kind of working the other direction to get it to go the opposite way. Okay, so my next one here, if we're multiplying into our boxes, I would get 8x to the fourth minus 12x cubed. 6x squared times 2x is 12x cubed. 6x squared times negative 3 is negative 18x squared. Negative 2x times 2x is negative 4x squared. Negative 5 times 2x, negative 10x. Negative 2x times negative 3 is 6x. And then negative 5 times negative 3 is 15. So I know I start off with 8x to the fourth. This gets me 0. That gets me negative 22x squared. And that gets me negative 4x. So I've got minus 22x squared minus 4x plus that little 15 that's left. Okay, so we're going to slowly kind of work backwards this time. So this time if I give you 2x to the fourth, I need something that multiplies to x to get me to that 2x to the fourth. So I'm going to have a 2x cubed. Now I can multiply down and in to get my next box. So 2x cubed times negative 4 is negative 8x cubed. Kind of work it again. So what times 12x squared, or what times negative 4 gets me that 12x squared? Well, negative 3x squared will. Okay, and then we can kind of work inward. So negative 3x squared times x gets me negative 3x cubed. Okay, x times negative 2x is negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times negative 4 is 8x. Okay, and then we can kind of add these. So if I add here, what can I add 8x to get me that 12x? Well, 4x. And then what can I add if I was trying to add these two? I would get a 10x squared out here. If I was adding these, I'd have to get a negative 11x cubed out here. Okay. And then my last one here, x times, what can I multiply x times to get 4x? I'd have to multiply 4, and then this would just get me my negative 16 in here. So if I was multiplying x minus 4, I'd have to multiply it by 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 4, and I would get 2x to the 4th. I already added those, so minus 11x cubed plus 10x squared plus 12x minus 16. So we're going to kind of work that method to be able to do this box method. So how is cell B2 related to the term? So B2, you're kind of like working outward, so you have to, that's your first term in it. How did you find the third term in the answer? We kind of discussed our way through it. 12x squared minus 2x squared will get us that. Okay, so to do this method, we are multiplying or dividing by 2x plus 5. Your first step is to put your first term and last term in. So first step is to put, your first term in. Okay, so your first term is 6x cubed, so we put them inside our box. And then we're going to kind of work off of that. Okay, so my 7x squared, so if I add these, I should be getting 7x squared. If I add these, I should be getting a negative 16x. If I next column, I should be getting 10. Well, my only option to get 10 is going to be to put a 10 there. Okay, so we're going to kind of work that a little bit. So what can I multiply 2x by to get 6x cubed? Well, that's going to be 3x squared. And then I can find my next piece by multiplying down. What can I add 15x squared to get 7x squared? So we're kind of working backwards. It needs to be a negative 8x squared. To get 2x times what gets me that? Gets me negative 4x. When I multiply down, it's negative 20x. What can I add to negative 20x to get my negative 16x? Well, 4x. What can I multiply 2x by to get that? Is going to be 2. And then 5 times 2 is getting me that 10 in that bottom box there. Okay, so when I divide these, I get 3x squared minus 4x plus 2. Multiplying, I would have to do 3x squared minus 4x plus 2, and we get all those numbers inside that box. So 6x cubed plus 7x squared minus 16x plus 10. So if we multiplied them, we would get back to square one. Because when we divided it out, we'd have to multiply it to go backwards. Okay, so your first step is to put in your first box. So first we're going to create them. I always take this exponent, the highest exponent, and I add 1 to how many boxes I'm going to make. So I'm going to make at least 4 boxes long. So I'm going to put my 3x and my 1 here. And then I'm going to put my first one in its box. I know I need to add these to get my next one, 11x squared. I need to add my next set here to get negative 12x. And I need to add my next set to get negative 1. Okay, so what multiplies by 3x to get 6x cubed? It's going to be 2x squared. Then we can multiply down to get 2x. We add it to get 9x squared. Multiplies 3x to get 9x squared is 3x. Multiply down, we get 3x. Adds to negative 12x to get 3x is negative 15x. To multiply that, we have to have a negative 5. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. We need to add to that to get a negative 1, so I just need a 4 here. And since that 4 is out by itself like that, that's going to be the remainder. Okay, so we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. That's what we discovered. And then we have that remainder out there that we had to add in to get that negative 1. So 4 divided by what we're still trying to take out of it. Okay, so my next one here, I need at least 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 3x and a negative 1, 6x to the 4th. I'm trying to add this next one to get 5x cubed. Add the next one to get 10x squared. Add the next one to get negative 18x. Add the next one to get 5. Alright, so multiplies to 3x to get 6x to the 4th. It is 2x cubed. This gets me negative 2x cubed. Add it, I have to have a negative 3x cubed. Multiplies by 3x to get a negative 3x cubed. It's a negative 1x squared. When I multiply down, that gets me x squared. So I'm going to need a 9x squared to get it to that 10x squared. So I need to multiply that by 3x. And then this gets me a negative 3x, which I have to add negative 15x to get. Which then I have to multiply by negative 5 to get 5. And since I don't need anything out here to get me that 5, I shouldn't have a remainder. So my answer is going to be that top. So 2x cubed minus 1x squared plus 3x minus 5. Okay, my next one, we're going to at least put 5 boxes in here. Okay, I've got x to the 4th sitting in my first box, and I got x and a negative 2. It needs to add to be a negative 6x cubed, an 18x, and a negative 4, so I'm going to have a lot of extra boxes in this. Ooh, because I went 4, 3, I skipped a 2. So what I actually need to do is 4, 3, I need to add 0x squared. Now I can do my 18x and my negative 4, okay? Because we still need the placeholders to represent what's not there. So I need to multiply this by x cubed. This gets me a negative 2x cubed, which I need to add a negative 4 to get it. That I need to multiply by a negative 4x squared, which will get me an 8x squared. To cancel it out, I need a negative 8x squared. So I need to multiply that by a negative 8x, which would get me a 16x, which I would need to add to a 2x, which I would need to multiply by 2. And then this would get me a negative 4, and I wouldn't need to add anything to it. So x cubed minus 4x squared minus 8x plus 2 is my answer. Okay, my next one, I need at least 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have an x and a negative 3, x cubed. I need to add it to get an x squared, negative 14x, and a 3. Okay, so multiplies, I need an x squared. This will get me a negative 3x squared. To add it, I need a 4x squared. To multiply, I need a 4x. This would give me a negative 12x. To add it, I need a negative 2x, which I would need to multiply by negative 2, which would get me 6. I would have to add a negative 3, which will be my remainder. So x squared plus 4x minus 2 minus 3, and then what I'm still trying to divide out of it. Okay, my next one, we're going to have a lot of placeholders. So I need at least 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X, negative 1, putting an x to the 5th here. I need an x to the 4th. I need an x cubed. I need an x squared. I need an x, and then I have my minus 1. Okay, so I need to multiply by x to the 4th. So I get negative x to the 4th. To cancel them, I need an x to the 4th, which I'd multiply by to get x cubed. To get a negative x cubed, to cancel them, I need an x cubed, which I'd have to multiply by x squared to get it, which would give me a negative x squared. To cancel it, I need an x squared. To multiply, I would need an x. Okay, I'd get a negative x. To cancel, I need an x, which I would multiply by 1, which would get me a negative 1, and I don't need to add anything. So x to the 4th plus x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 1 is my final answer.